When my husband and I first moved to Chicago, he jokingly told me, "You better start making a lot of corn recipes." And you know what? He's kind of right. Corn is everywhere, and I find myself buying it a lot more often these days. And especially now, the sweet summer corn is really abundant, and it's cheap too. But I decided I want to make use of both the kernels and the cob. So that's why I decided today to make my corn chowder with sausage. Chicago is very serious about their hot dogs and sausages, so I thought I'd go all out and combine the two together and make a salute to the Midwest. And so that's what I'm doing. And you know what? It kind of is perfect because the sweet corn paired with the savory sausage in the creamy broth is just out of control. So if you want a break from all the cold salads and side dishes this summer, and you want something satisfying for a change, then grab your sweet summer corn, let's go into the kitchen and I'll show you how to make this. You might be wondering, why are you making a hot soup during the summertime? But my answer is, why not? Aren't you kind of tired of all the salads and cold dishes? I kind of am. I've been eating a lot of salads. So you take one bite of this soup and I know you'll be making this every summer. All you're gonna need is corn on the cob, kielbasa, unsalted butter, potatoes, onion, garlic, whole milk, chicken stock, red pepper flakes, and basil. All you're gonna need is one medium onion finely diced, and in my case, I just used 2 small, but don't tell anyone. I like to make it finely diced so that it kind of dissolves away into the soup and you're not biting into big chunks of onion. Then I have 3 cloves of garlic. We're gonna saute this garlic and onions and butter. And what's better than butter, garlic, and corn together? It's like they were made to be friends. Next, we're gonna grab the sausage part of this whole thing, and I'm using kielbasa. You could use any kind of smoked sausage that you prefer. This is 12 ounces of kielbasa, or just one little link. I love kielbasa so much, I tend to just keep it in my freezer and thaw it out whenever I need it. I shared that tip on the blog, and I found out that a lot of people have started doing that since I mentioned that. So I'm glad. And you should, because it's such a flavorful ingredient on its own. I know my husband's gonna love this one. Okie dokes. And now I have 4 medium yellow potatoes. You can use Yukon Gold or any yellow skin potato. I just peeled them and plopped them in a bowl of water because I didn't want them to oxidize and turn brown and ugly. So that's a tip if you want to do this in advance. And we're just gonna cube it up. I'm gonna make these about 1/2-inch little chunks or cubes because I want some of them to stay intact and have a little bite to them, and I want some of them to just disintegrate into the soup because this is going to act as your thickener. Just gonna finish chopping away my potatoes. So that's done. So what I like to do with the corn is I like to get a bigger bowl and put a smaller bowl inside it. Then I stand the individual cobs on top of the smaller bowl and then just shave it off as normal. That way the kernels don't fly all over the place, they stay contained in the bowl. I have 4 ears of corn, but I already did 3 in advance. If you notice, I didn't throw away my cobs because these are crucial to the soup. All right, now everything's chopped and prepped, and we're gonna move over to the stove, put it all together. I'm browning up my kielbasa first, and you're just gonna use one pot for everything. That's why it's pretty convenient. There's no oil or butter in the pan yet because the sausage is gonna render some of its own fat out, not too much. All you have to do is just heat it up and let it get a little bit of color on it, and then we're gonna fish it out. The sausage got browned enough for me, so fished it out. And we're adding 2 tablespoons of unsalted butter, along with my onion and garlic. I'm gonna add a sprinkle of salt just to draw the moisture out. Okay, I'm just gonna put it out there. Your onions will probably not look like caramelized onions like mine. My pan just got a little dark. Oopsies, it's okay. Time to add all your potatoes and corn kernels. First of all, potatoes can handle a lot of salt. Second of all, season every single layer. S&P, you know me. So you're gonna let that go in the butter for a couple minutes. In a measuring cup, I have 4 cups of whole milk. Okay, I'm not one to drink whole milk, so I don't have it on hand. I have to go out and buy it. But I definitely would not substitute with any other kind of milk. I would just go ahead and use the whole milk. And then I'm gonna use 2 cups of chicken stock. So you got your creamy, and then you got your flavor, your corn cobs. This really is a secret ingredient. Throw that in there, and all of that corny juice will extract into this creamy broth, mix in with the starchy potatoes, and just become delightful. My last flavor element is crushed red pepper flakes because, come on guys, you're talking to me here. I use this like in every recipe, right? So I have half a teaspoon, but I like that spicy kick, especially against all the creaminess. I think it just adds another layer. I'm gonna give 1 more sprinkling of salt and pepper just for good luck. Pop my lid on, crank it up to a boil. Just stand around and watch it because milk has a tendency to bubble over really quickly once it comes to a boil, and then it'll be like a hot mess all over your kitchen. Make sure it comes to a boil and then reduce it down to a high simmer, and then we'll just keep cooking it for an additional 10 minutes or until your potatoes get nice and soft.
I wish I had a little piece of chalk so I could show you everywhere I walk.
It's been 10 minutes and let me tell you, it smells like almost like Thanksgiving in here. So the corn cobs are completely done. Just chuck them, fish them out with tongs. The chowder has thickened up nicely, a little bit. It's not gonna get super thick, but I kind of like that consistency. But you're gonna do one more step. You're gonna get it like a wooden spoon or any kind of utensil. You're gonna try to get some of those pieces of potato and smash them against the side of the pot. And that'll help release more of their starches and make the broth even thicker. And then we're gonna add back that beautifully slightly browned kielbasa sausage. Go swimming, my little babies. We're gonna let that cook together for about a minute just so that the sausage can get heated up and infuse the soup a little bit. And then we're gonna give it one last taste and a final seasoning just to check to make sure that everything is balanced and you have enough salt. And then after that, I'm gonna toss in some basil and plate it up. Ladle up. That basil, that little hint at the end, is everything. Not only does it add that beautiful color, but that fragrance. I'm just gonna garnish with a little bit more fresh basil on top. This is one of those things where you eat with your eyes and your nose first, and then when you taste it, it's everything you expected it to be. It definitely is a cross between a hearty chowder and a brothy soup in the most perfect way. There's a hint of that smokiness from the kielbasa and then the sweetness of that corn the creaminess of the milk and the potatoes, and a little kick of the red pepper flakes. Let me get that little sausage. Perfect. It definitely fills you up, makes you satisfied, but it's still fresh tasting. And you know, it's so easy to make, and the ingredients are so simple that I can't really offer you that many suggestions or substitutions, but I'll try. Instead of the sausage, you can always substitute with some ham or even bacon, but if you also want to keep things lighter, once you taste this, you'll know it tastes very close to a really good clam chowder. So I just throw in some clams or even use shrimp instead. And instead of basil, thyme works really well with corn, so you can give that a try. Well, I hope you enjoyed watching this recipe and that you give it a try, especially now when the sweet summer corn is at its peak. I hope you enjoyed watching this video, and if you did, remember to push like, leave a comment down below, and subscribe to our channel. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Chicago, I hope I made you proud.